61A, Lecture Number 4, Announcements. Discussion 1 is this week. It involves an orientation and a tutorial, and it all happens on Wednesday. First, you should attend one of these discussion orientations. There are several of them before your tutorial. You can find them all in the weekly schedule. Just like with lab, we're going to have two different discussion orientations at 2 p.m. One is designated for limited experience students. So if you're feeling less comfortable with the course, you might try that one. The content will be very similar, but the questions that other students ask might differ depending on who shows up to each one. We have tutorials all the way from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. There are also some orientations to discussion later on in the evening for those who can't make the 2 p.m. or for students in time zones where this time is not convenient. We'll have one at 6 p.m., one designated for students with limited prior experience at 7 p.m., and another one at 9 p.m. Please attend the discussion orientation. These are recorded, and those recordings will be made available to you on this link, which is a Google Drive folder with all the orientations for all the labs and discussions for the semester. But you should really go. A great way to keep up with the course is to actually attend the orientations for lab and discussion each Monday and Wednesday. This orientation session will involve some coding examples, and here's a file of starter code that will be referenced during the orientation. If you just joined the course recently and you weren't here the week before the semester began, then you might not be in a tutorial yet, but you need to be because tutorials are part of this course. So go to tutorials.cs61a.org. There are open slots. Grab one of those, and then you can attend a tutorial tomorrow. Attendance will be taken this week, and if you're more than 3 minutes late, your attendance will not be recorded. So show up on time. These do not start at Berkeley time. These start on time. That's Wednesday. Thursday, homework 1 is due. I hope that's going okay. Please don't share your code. Don't look at other students' code. Definitely post on Piazza. Definitely get help on office hours. Here's the office hours schedule, which is also up here. We will be holding office hours in the evening tomorrow, and also pretty much all day on Thursday. Most people wait until the last minute to finish the homework. If that's what you want to do, that's fine, but be aware that it might be harder to get help in office hours. It might take longer to wait if you've waited to the last minute. So at least start early in the day, or maybe even finish it on Wednesday. So that's Wednesday and Thursday. What about Friday? Well, we're going to hold lab orientation on Friday. Monday's a holiday. I hope you enjoy it, but Lab 2 is still due on Monday because I don't want you to wait until Tuesday to do it and then not have enough time to finish next week's assignment. So since Monday's a holiday, all lab orientations will be held this Friday. Here are all the links. There are only 2 or 3 problems that you need to solve on lab this week, but if you don't work through them, then the rest of your assignments are going to be a lot harder, so just get it done. In fact, what I'd recommend is that you finish Lab 2 on Friday so that you can focus on the Hog Project or take a break over the weekend. Also on Friday, we'll have our first exam prep section. These are optional. They happen at 2:10 p.m. It's a big Zoom webinar where some teaching assistants from the course are going to describe their strategies for solving exam problems. They'll go over some past exam problems and walk through how to solve a problem and what to do if you get stuck during an exam. Hint, the answer is not text your friend, the answer is to think. But there's more to it than that. So if you'd like to start thinking about the upcoming midterm, which is on Monday the 14th, you could attend the exam prep section on this Friday, or it will be recorded if you want to attend it later. And I said that on Friday it's a good idea to finish lab so you can focus on the Hog Project. What's that? That's the first project in this course. A project is like a really long homework where all the problems are related to each other, so you end up building a full-sized application. This is due next Friday, but you can't leave it all until next Friday. If you want all the points, then you have to finish phase 1 of the project by Tuesday. This is the last possible moment that you should finish phase 1. It might be better to finish it sooner. You could start on this project right after you watch this lecture. But at the very latest, finish phase 1, which is the first handful of questions, by Tuesday. The question that gives students the most trouble is actually in phase 1. So once you get through phase 1, it tends to be pretty smooth after that. But in order to receive the 1-point checkpoint, you do need to finish phase 1 by next Tuesday. And then complete and submit the whole project by Friday for full credit. Or, if you want more than full credit, you could submit the whole project by next Thursday to earn an early submission bonus point. A whole point just for finishing early. Now, if for some reason you're working on Thursday and you don't get it done, it's okay. You only lost a bonus point. No big deal. You can turn it in on Friday. So plan to finish on Thursday, and if something goes wrong and you're a day late, you really haven't lost anything. If you turn in projects more than a day late, then you run into real trouble in this course. It's hard to get a reasonable grade in this course if you don't do all the projects, do the homeworks, stay up with the assignments, and turn things in on time. So please do that. You can complete the Hog Project with a partner. Go to tutorial this week and ask around if anyone wants a partner, and then you'll have partners. If it turns out there's an odd number of people there and you end up without a partner in your tutorial, that's not a big deal. You can still find a partner. If you haven't found a partner by this Friday, you can request one through a Google form that we'll send out, and we'll pair you up. Then by Saturday, you'll have a partner, and you can start working through the project. The way partners work in this course is that you can share whatever you want. Only one partner needs to submit their work, and then mark the other one as their partner on OKPie, and you both get credit. I do not recommend just dividing up the problems. You take this half, I take that half, then you miss key opportunities for learning. Instead, just work together. Start up a Zoom session, share your screen, and collaborate. Things will go faster with the two of you, because you can each be trying stuff out. But if you divide up the work, then you won't know how to solve all the problems, and that will cause trouble for you later on, especially when the midterm comes around. So make sure you understand the whole project, even if you're working with a partner. So this Hog Project will carry us all the way through the end of next week. But everything you need to know to solve the project is in today's lecture. There's one tricky bit in phase 2 that involves a function referring to itself, and that's discussed in Friday's lecture. You could solve it without listening to that lecture, but Friday's lecture is probably going to help you solve phase 2 of the project. But we won't cover any new material, so you can dive in and start working on the project as soon as it's released, which will either be Tuesday night or Wednesday. Today's lecture is a big lecture. It introduces a topic that's challenging to master. Once we learn about the mechanics of it in the Python programming language and the concepts behind it, we'll spend Friday talking about how to use environment diagrams to represent what's going on. No lecture for Monday. Wednesday's lecture doesn't really introduce new material. It just combines some ideas that we've done so far into a longer example. Friday's lecture also doesn't introduce new material. It's there in order to help you get ready for the midterm, and then we'll have the midterm on Monday the 14th. That's really soon, the beginning of week 4. We put the midterm so soon in order to make sure that you get some feedback in the course before the drop deadline, which is on Wednesday. And we'll try really hard to have your midterm scored before then, so you know where you stand in the course, in case you're not sure whether you're going to stay in the semester or not. So really, the content that you need in order to do well on midterm 1 is just from the first 2 weeks. So pay attention to this lecture, and Friday's lecture as well, in order to master this notion of higher order functions, and then you'll be in good shape to work on the project, Hog, and solve the midterm. I'll have more details about the midterm on Friday's announcement video. Okay, other than that, if you want some advising about how things are going, we have some informal advising sessions on oh.cs62na.org. These are not for help on the homework or the project. These are for getting advice. So if you see an appointment that has a location advising, sign up for that, and you can get some tips from very experienced staff members about how to approach this course or life at Berkeley or anything else that's on your mind. Here are all the links to Wednesday's discussion orientation, Friday's lab orientation, the exam prep section, lecture Q&A for Wednesday and Friday, and a link to the Google Drive folder full of orientation recordings. Those are all the announcements, but I wanted to say one more thing, which is that you should go to office hours. Homework questions are not straightforward. Project questions are not straightforward. Even if you understand what's going on, they could be difficult to solve. And they're not very repetitive. Each one shows you something new. It's okay if you don't solve them right away on your own. Try for a while, but if you get stuck, it's unproductive to just sit there and try to figure it out on your own and push yourself for hour after hour. It's much better to come to office hours and get some help. So I really hope you do that. We're going to try hard to make sure that we have enough appointments and people monitoring the office hour queue that you don't have to wait too long in order to get help. But it's up to you to show up. You are not alone in this course. Please visit 61a.org/office hours for more information.